That was 30 Silver, Sinister Man, Have At Thee. Oh, sorry, Doc and Sinister Man, Have At Thee. Before that was Goat. We have 30 Silver in studio with us tonight. We also have George, we have Tony, myself. You are listening to My Night Out Radio. If you want to get in touch with us, mynightoutradio@verizon.net. Send us an email. Facebook /MyNightOut. Instagram, DJ Psyco Eddie. I still have the Twitter account at DJ Psyco Eddie. We're straightening out the radio show's Twitter account at this point. Also, you want to hit us up, MyNightOutRI.com for all your local events and upcoming events. So, guys, where do you go from here? You're established. You're touring. What's your next? What's your next big step that you guys are looking forward to?
Well, I mean, we actually signed to an indie label out of Baltimore called Bad Taco Records for our next full length, and that's going to be a blast. And they're great guys to work with. And beyond that, I mean, I've never been one of those people that is like, oh yeah, clearly my end result is fame and fortune and the Family Values tour, which I don't even think exists anymore. So that's probably a really dated reference. But I've never been that guy that's like, no, I need to sell out the downstairs of the Palladium to be successful. If we could pack 300-person clubs every time we play, that would be fantastic to me. I mean, I've never been one of those like, no, it has to be stadiums or death.
So you're just looking for that consistency, I think is the word I'm looking for, of a decent-sized crowd no matter where you go.
I get to play music that I wrote that I love for people that seem to appreciate it, and that seems like a pretty good dream to me.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Where
Where do you stand on the cover? Will you throw a cover in there, or will you just...
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right.
We've definitely
I mean, you last hour on the Tony Jones Show, we played a cover of the greatest punk band out of Rhode Island ever, Crinkly Ass Crackers. No, I mean, we throw in covers. Actually, last Monday, Joe looked at me in the middle of the first band's set and went, hey, can you learn how to play Rock and Roll by Motorhead? Because it was the 28th, and we had just found out Lemmy died. And I looked at you and just went, not while they're playing. Like, if I had known an hour beforehand, I probably could have worked out Rock and Roll, but...
and you also made mention off the air and what have you that, you do have... You're not a youngster anymore. You do have a few years under your belt. How do you feel about old school punk? Remember back in the days when you didn't even have to know how to play an instrument to be in a punk band, and to be labeled as crap or you suck was a badge of honor?
I still don't know how to play guitar. I've had people yell die and get off the stage at me. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm familiar with that feeling, Eddie.
So you have firmly grasped the punk roots.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to punk bands. I love punk. I especially love, old school punk, Anti-Nowhere League. I'm not a big fan of the Sex Pistols because I don't like boy bands.
So you're not going to watch me and Tony when we form our boy band?
Well,
you know what? For you guys, I'll make an exception.
There's always the exception to the rule, and
there is.
I can see that.
But yeah, no, I grew up listening to a lot of punk, and so yeah, I mean that's my marker of success is artistic expression and not necessarily, dollar bills. It's not necessarily, everyone coming up and telling me, how awesome we were. I really enjoy that, everybody listening.
I don't know.
My ego really, really, really likes being fed.
Yeah, but I'm glad you went around to the ego because the bullshit was getting pretty deep here for a second.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that you don't play music to get laid more? You don't play music to, like you said, you gratify the ego. Okay, now I'm with you.
I'm married. I get laid plenty.
But by the same woman.
Isn't that a contradiction of terms?
Nope. Not if you're doing it right.
So you're newly married?
Year and change. We've been together for 4.5.
Yeah. Try when you hit that 20-year mark. Let me know how that's working out for you.
That's what the
Deb, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
That's what the clown mask is for.
Yeah, that's an
Spice it up.
That's an interesting question, though. How many of us, play in bands and things like that and do other creative things for our creative expression and satisfaction, and how many do it for low purposes?
Define low purposes, because I have a lot of low-hanging fruit, I think, is what I'm...
I don't know that we'd call getting laid a low purpose. That seems like a pretty high purpose, actually.
Well,
it's more noble.
Well,
that's a pretty noble pursuit.
That's my point.
Free drinks and getting laid is a pretty noble pursuit.
Well, that's
George.
my point. So I consider those the noble purposes of being in a band. But then you start mouthing off about self-expression and all this. Well, FCC, right, Tony?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll note that when I say self-expression, you're also talking to a guy who has thrown his guitar at his drummer. I'll finally cop to at, not to. You're talking to a guy who once screamed so loud and so long into a microphone that he passed out in the middle of it, smashed his head on the mic, dropped to his knees, and kept going. Like, you're not talking to a normal person here, George. When I say noble pursuit, well, it's a pretty stretchy definition.
You hit on a very sensitive subject there. Musicians, creative people, are not normal people. You have to be damaged goods in order to get this creativity out of that orb you have on your shoulders.
You do. Actually, you could use that as a rule of thumb. If a band is mediocre or they suck, they're normal people.
Yeah.
Quote unquote normal.
If I could talk about things that our songs are about, it's one of the questions that drives me insane is people are like, oh, what's that song about? And I'm like, if I could tell you coherently what the song was about, I don't think I would have written the song. I think I would have just gone, this is how I'm feeling, instead of being like, here's an oblique 5-minute song about this.
Yeah, I'll let the voices in my head tell you what the song's about while I'm holding the axe. How's
that?
You
know, my neighbor's dog communicated this song to me. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, it was a pug, right?
So
he was majestic. You've met him too?
The majestic pug.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have 2 pit bulls that crap bigger than a pug, and
I also love pit bulls.
Oh,
I love all animals. They're fantastic.
I love animals too, but in varying degrees. Pugs, I don't think are on top of my list, but they're all right.
Now, when you say you love, now we talking in a culinary way at this point, or
there are
with peanut butter?
There are several animals that I like culinarily, like the majestic cow.
Yes.
You give me a cow, I will take a knife and I will carve a hunk out its backside and throw it on a grill. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way; just scare away the germs.
Well, put it this way: whenever I go to the zoo, they put me through a metal detector to make sure I'm not bringing my knife and fork. So yes, I understand that completely.
But I mean, as far as domesticated animals, as far as the cats, the dogs, your household pet, your average household pet. Because I did know someone who had a pet pig for a while, which turned into dinner.
Tasty bacon.
Well, yeah, as soon as they got laid off from their job, right?
Oh, yeah.
The pig starts, yeah.
But that aside, I mean, we just went off on another tangent, which I love, but,
This is really getting off the rails, everybody. We're real sorry.
What
I'm a bad influence.
What rails
I
were we
like this.
What rails were we supposed to be on?
I'm a very organized person. I have a list of things that I can talk about. I have like punch notes and everything that I haven't hit a single one. But
you're welcome.
Those are the best shows. We had Cess Carney in here. I think it was episode 20 or whatever. We literally laughed. I almost wet myself. We were laughing so